Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. Thank you for joining me today. Today is the 11th of November. Happy Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to all that are currently serving or have served. And certainly happy Veterans Day to all those in spirit that served. It's also a very magical, numerically magical day. It's a very spiritual day, 11/11. Also, it's a day to fight for the things that you care about. That is RBG there. And I am wearing my amethyst ring, which I've been wearing since the election, and I don't normally wear it. Amethyst takes negative energies and transform them into positive energies. It's a calming energy. And so I'm ready to go. I've got my coffee. It's 5:30 in the morning this morning. Again, the dogs have not been fed breakfast. They're sleeping in currently. But I want to talk to you a little bit about politics. It's been a rough ride. There's no doubt about it. We have been on a roller coaster, and I will remind you, and the guides are reminding me, thank God they're taking the wheel. Remember, they said the graph goes up. Do you remember? But it's going to be bumpy. But every downturn is still higher than where we were. Okay? The graph is going up, but it's bumpy. Okay? So it's not going to be a slam dunk. People, it's going to be a bumpy ride. And my God, are we on a bumpy ride? So the good news is that I'll check again right now. To be honest with you, the house is too close to call. The guides say it's too close to call. That's scary. It's not news that you want to hear. It's not news I want to hear. We are going to have the Senate big time. We will have the Senate big time. I think, I don't know about the House, guys. The guides are saying it's too close to call. The thing that I've been arguing with them this morning about, and it makes it hard, right? I mean, as a psychic, and I know some of you know what I'm talking about. You know things that are things. They just are. The universe isn't emotional. The universe is, this is the data. This is the potential of the energy. It's not good or bad, right or wrong. It just is. So the thing that I've been upset about, and I haven't done a video yesterday because the energy has just been all over the place. And I said this, right, in last week. It's like a tornado. It's like trying to predict being in the middle of a tornado. You know, I've got to figure out which pieces of these millions of straw, which 5 pieces are actually going to strike the right place. It's almost impossible in situations like this. So please give all the psychics on YouTube a big pass, because if you're not out here giving your opinions to 500, 100, or thousands of people, then you don't know what it's like. So be kind and be respectful. But the thing that is, I'm just going to call it pissing me off, is they keep saying Kari Lake is going to win. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys and say that I've spent since I did the first video, I've spent all those hours that I haven't been working, and I've been working quite a bit, trying to figure out WTF. What's the meaning of all this? You know, what is the meaning of all this? Surely there's got to be some kind of meaning. There's got to be some kind of lesson that we can learn and move on, right? So I will say to you that the guides are pulling me back from the edge here, which is nice of them, which is very nice of them, to be honest with you. Okay, their message is everything is going to be okay. Stop freaking out, Susan. That's their message. All right, thank you. Because I'm freaking out. The human part of Susan is freaking out. Not because I don't see us going off the edge. I don't see us going off the edge. I don't see that. But I do see it being hard won. I mean, why can't we just go up the graph like a roller coaster? Just go smoothly. Why can't we just go smoothly? Why do we have to have every day some kind of major accomplishment or loss or fight? It just seems like a lot. And for that reason, if you've unplugged yourself from everything, including me, I don't blame you. I would unplug myself from me if I could. I tried to do that yesterday. I almost tried to fire them. And then I realized that the last time I did that, it didn't go very well for me. And honestly, it was just because of the Carrie Lake thing. I'm not worried. I'm not so worried. I mean, I have to laugh because I'm so upset about it. Okay, anyway. Let me try to pull it together here. Oh boy. All right, I'm going to pull it together. All right, let me do it. I can do it. I can do it. All right, let me get Susan out of this equation because frankly, she's a mess. All right, the guides. The guides want to say how much they love you. They want to say how much you have changed. You personally have changed the vibration of the planet, not just the vibration of your country, of your city, but of the planet. They're telling me that, before what? They're going back. They're going all the way back to December of this year for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because the 2022. Okay, maybe they want to talk about 2022. The beginning of 2022, we had the Ukraine war, we had so many upheavals worldwide, shocking things, Boris Johnson, so many shocking things, the United States, some elections in some other cities, some other countries. But they want to say that if you could imagine there being multiple roads, let's say there's 5 roads, let's call them highways. Let's call them energy highways. Each of these energy highways would have been a timeline. And I hope you understand when I say timeline. Humans chose the best timeline, the least violent, the least destructive, the most loving and forgiving timeline of all the timelines. So if you can imagine that there was some pretty ugly potentialities that did not come to fruition. So frankly, even though Susan, the mortal human Susan, is freaking out over some, what in the guide's eyes are very temporary and fleeting hardships. They don't want to skip over the fact that this is hard. This is hard. Hard for humans. Hard for Americans. Hard. They're in complete agreement with that. But it's temporary. It's fleeting. And the faster we realize that and just look past it to the future that we can continue to build with our energy, the faster we'll get to that new energetic place. But for whatever reason, and I don't know exactly why, I get glimpses of it, but I don't really understand the big picture. For whatever reason, they're celebrating. Now, when I say the guides, I mean freaking the earth energy is celebrating. Apparently, we have dodged a bullet. Now that doesn't mean that bad things won't happen. It doesn't mean that maybe some big bad thing won't happen. It doesn't mean that, but it means that whatever does happen is much less significant than the timeline that we were pointing towards. So they hope that you take some solace, some relief in that knowledge that they're saying we have saved the day. We have saved the day. Now, in this case, they're talking about humans. They're talking about Earth. They're talking about Earthlings. They're calling us Earthlings. Earthlings have saved the day. And we may never know. We may never know why or how we saved the day. But your positivity, your prayers, your energetic messages that you've been sending out have been received. And these things, they show me scales. If Earthlings are sending out negativity, then obviously that negativity is going to have more import on the actual energy of our Earth. If we're sending out positivity, that's going to outweigh the negativity and have a larger import on our Earth. And that is what's happened here. So as bad as it looks to Susan or to you, this is one of the best outcomes, one of the best timelines. And I can say, I can speak to that in the sense that I saw a timeline 2 years ago. And I'm sure some of you guys have too, that showed America specifically going through, if not a civil war, then a very troubling time of attacks by our own people against our own people. So I think that we should take a moment and pat ourselves on the back. Now, back to the politics, because I know that's why you're watching this video. We're going to win. They just said, you're going to win. You know, they realize that I'm short-sighted. I have a short attention span. I just want to know, are we going to win? And is Trump going to die? Sorry. You know, him disappearing is not going to solve our problems. It's not. Obviously, it's not. So right now, what's happening? Let's get busy. Right now, Trump has declared war on DeSantis. Fox has declared war on Trump. We are now at that point where it is a fight for the life of the Republican Party. It's happening. It has started. There are no winners. The guides are saying there are no winners because Trump will go to the depths of the bottom of the ocean to bring them down. It's a suicide mission. He doesn't care if he implicates himself. Oh, right. Because he doesn't care because he was the next president and he knows. He knows he's not going to Rikers. He knows he's not going to some prison. He's going to, you know, the faux presidential prison where he's still going to have McDonald's and he's going to be able to watch TV. He may never be able to communicate with anybody. And I really think that's going to be a certain kind of hell for him. But he doesn't have as much to lose as they do. Do you understand what I'm saying? DeSantis could really go to a prison, a real don't drop the soap on the floor prison. Trump is never going to go there. Never. He's always going to have rights that none of these other people are going to have. So he's going to go implicate and incriminate himself all over the place. Happily, willingly. He's got nothing left. They just now told me the Saudis are pulling their money in support from him. He's got nothing left. Why not? But he's not going to do it in this, room at the FBI or even the DOJ. He's not going to do it like that because there's no self-satisfaction in that. He's going to do it in public. And of course, the Democrats are going to, magnify everything he does, right? I mean, they're going to put it on their social media. They're going to put it on TV if there's any place that will carry it. It's over. The game is over. Now, when I say it's over, what I mean is that the part where Trump is the leader of the Republican Party is over. Now, the part where Trump annihilates the Republican Party is day one. This is day one of a new game. And again, the guides are showing me, and you guys probably know how I feel about Liz Cheney. If you don't, I don't like her. I don't trust her. She's not our friend. She voted for Trump's laws over 90% of the time, and she did not vote to impeach him. She's not our friend. She's doing what any freaking American should do, which is stand up against a coup. Now, if we're going to hero her over that, then we've lost our way. She is, and they've said this for almost a year, all she's doing is helping the Republican Party disintegrate because she wants to be in control of it. So, of course, if you want to take out your enemy, you're going to join their enemy. So she joined the Democrats. And now Democrats are holding her up as some kind of hero. I'm telling you, all she did was what she should have done. Period. End of story. Beyond that, I'm going to look at her voting record. I'm going to be looking at black and white. That's what I'm going to be looking at. So here we are with Liz Cheney sitting in over here, and she's a cat, and she's got a knife and a fork. She's getting ready to eat the Republican Party, and then she will be its queen. Now, if it were me, I'd rather have Adam Kinzinger. Adam Kinzinger is just like her, except for that he doesn't have this megalomaniac idea of running the world, which is what Liz Cheney's energy suggests. She's a different version of Donald Trump. I'm telling you guys, please take the bandages off your eyes. Please try to use your discernment. Feel into her energy. What do you feel? Be careful because it's could burn you. Adam Kinzinger is just a Republican, straight up, not trying to take over the world, not trying to take over the Republican Party. He just has his beliefs, which happen to be different than mine. That's fine by me. That energy is fine by me. I can handle that, no problem. As a matter of fact, we need that. We need the balance of the Republicans and the Democrats. You know, the guides talked about this a couple of months ago, or who knows when. If you're in a rowboat and you're rowing on one side of the boat, you're going in circles. You're not going forward. You're going in circles. You need the balance of both sides to go forward. This is the beauty of our democracy. Except for the Republicans have been bought off a long time ago, and corporate America is addicted to their tax cuts, and now they've been bought off by Nazis and every other terrible kind of energy you can imagine. And now they're going to self-implode because American people really aren't that bad. We're not, Texans are not that bad. Floridians are not that bad. People are yelling at us like we're some kind of, horrible people that we allowed Beto to lose. Come down here to Texas, all you people. Come down here. Let me show you how we live, how we've been gerrymandered out of any hope of our vote counting, right? Go to Florida where votes were thrown out. People were intimidated. It's a different land down here. Okay. It's extraordinarily hard down here. And despite that, we came within a couple of percentage points of winning, despite that. So now that the Republican Party is literally going to be decimated, and listen, the guides told you this. The guides told us this. They said she's going to destroy the Republican Party. Well, they destroyed themselves. She helped a little bit. But mainly what she did was get out of the way and let the karma bus hit them instead of her standing there with it. Despite the fact that her karma is all up in that group. She voted for them. She fundraised for them. She made their money off of them. But she was smart enough to step over here and let the karma bus come right on through. This is what I'm saying. She's a formidable opponent. Okay, that's what the guides told me from the very beginning. She's a formidable opponent. She's not a friend. So here we go. The Republican Party is going down. Fox News is fighting with Trump. What did Trump call DeSantis? Disanctimonious or something like that. And Trump came out and said that he helped, as president, he says, I helped DeSantis win and Scott win because they were losing, and I sent federal employees, being the DOJ and others, down there to save the election. So people are saying that Donald Trump stole the election for DeSantis. Hell, Donald Trump is saying he stole the election for DeSantis. So I want to ask the guides, it's pretty obvious that we have crimes all over the place. When are the courts going to actually take up these crimes and start ruling on them? When is DOJ going to start charging these people, right? Sorry. It should be tequila. And I should be in Mexico on a beach. Okay, I digress. All right, so anyway, this is why it's hard for me sometimes to talk to my guides, because that just took me off of the frequency. So let me get back. All right. They're just telling me everything is going to be okay. They're trying to calm me down. There was a time when I drank tequila, not a lot of tequila, but there was a time when I drank margaritas and tequila, and you should have seen how hard it was for them then. Okay. So, all right. So they're saying justice is coming. Again, it's just like they said in that last video. Lady Justice is coming and she's clearing the decks. That's exactly what they said the morning after the election. They said, Lady Justice is coming. She's clearing the decks. Gen Z will hold these old I don't know how to describe what they're showing me. They're showing me basically the Senate, the old white people that are out of touch with America. They're out of touch. And I'm talking about Democrats too. I'm not talking about Republicans. I'm talking about the whole thing. The institution. Okay. So they're saying to me, Gen Z will hold the institution of our something like decrepit society to account. It's not working. It's broken. It's broken. So Gen Z, and they already have, right? The guides said that the kids would come and vote, and they did. They did. They changed everything. And you guys, this was historic. This was a historic time. There was a blue wave. Never in the history, I'm going to say, in the past 6 presidents, and the one that struck me was Obama because he was so popular. He lost a lot of seats in that first election after his presidency, because that has been our history, that when you have a president, the House and the Senate go to the other side as a way of balancing. It's not going to happen this time. We may lose the House by 1 seat. We may gain the House by 1 seat or 2 seats. It's going to be tight, but we're not going to lose it by 10 seats or 20 seats or 30 seats. Can you understand the significance of that? It might be a little too early for you because it hasn't happened yet. But there's huge significance in this. In this way, we have a mandate, but we don't quite have the votes, but we do have a mandate. And we will change this. So the next thing that's going to happen, we were talking about before I went off the rails, we were talking about the DOJ. We were talking about when is the DOJ going to step in and start stopping the crime spree is what they want to say. It's basically a crime spree. Do you remember when the guides, when I did that video called Smash and Grab? Do you remember that? This is what they're showing me. If you think of democracy as a beautiful jewelry store on Fifth Avenue, and you think about the Republicans coming in, and I mean Republicans, but I also mean other countries coming in, smashing the window and grabbing all the jewelry and running out with it. This is what's happening. This is a good analogy to describe and explain what is happening. It's a smash and grab of our laws. It's a smash and grab of our rights. It's a smash and grab of our ethics, of everything that makes us American, our identity. It's a smash and grab of our identity. And they want us to believe, they want to convince us that we're mean people and we're going to hurt each other. They want to convince us of that, but it's not true. We're not going to believe that. 10% of y'all is crazy. 90% of us are normal. Nice people that will help somebody out if they need help. 90%. We're not going to believe that rhetoric. We're not going to believe the rhetoric that America's divided or that America is terrible or that Texans are terrible or Floridians are. We're not going to believe that BS. We know it to be different. We're not going to believe it. But back to the DOJ once again, because this is important, because I swear to you, I'm going to order some aviator glasses and I'm going to become Joe Biden. Because this man is steely. I mean, steely. The picture they're showing me is he is in a fighter jet. Yes, he has aviator glasses on. He is in a fighter jet, and the force of the jet is shaking him, and he is like made of steel. Nothing is going to deter him from his mission. So even though the courts just threw out his student loan package once again, he's going to continue doing it. Every time they thwart him, he'll back up, survey the situation, and go around them. And in doing so, he will make himself the greatest president we've ever had. That just came out of my mouth. We haven't seen it yet. It's coming. And in that way, he will redefine the Democratic Party. So his focus, his laser lock on is not on Trump, because Trump is going to take himself out. There's already indictments. This is the word they want to use. Indictments are already lined up. I'm seeing somebody's desk with file folders that are color coded. It's like a timeline of indictments. He is going to be out. You don't have to worry. You honestly do not have to worry about him. But in the meantime, they're going to allow him to spew forth crimes so that the DOJ can continue to add those to the docket. Didn't the guides tell you that DeSanctimonious would be out next year? They said he was going to win. And they said, but he's going to be out next year due to money and a washing machine. I see him out. I see Abbott out due to alleged crimes. I see Grassley leaving. I see J.D. Vance leaving. Of all the races, the one that, well, besides Carrie Lake, and I cannot say that because that makes me really angry. Of all the races, the one that they told me, and I believe them wholeheartedly, that would win was Ryan. I went to the mat on Ryan. And then J.D. Vance won. So I said, okay, frankly, WTF happened here. And they said to me that Ryan won. And I said, would you like for me to show you this computer screen in which they say that he did not? I mean, I know you're from another planet and all, but come on. They're still saying that Ryan won. So obviously there's something hinky with that race. And I think that Vance will probably be out. I also think that Warnock is going to win. They told me when Warnock won his first runoff, when my channel was pretty new, they said that Warnock is going to win. And I went out there and told y'all that he was going to win on faith, that what they were telling me was correct. So I see Warnock having a long and illustrious, is the word they want to use, career. So I think Warnock is going to win. I think we're going to have the Senate, no problem. I think we could have the House at one extra seat, maybe. One more seat than we have currently. Possibly. They said it was too close to call. So when we do this work, right, I'm reading the energy. And reading the energy of hundreds of thousands of people that have voted is pretty difficult, right? Because their energy is, I voted, and then I count that as a vote, and then their vote doesn't go through because a machine that doesn't have energy kicks it out. So this is one of the reasons why it's so hard to predict this stuff. I can't read the energy of that machine that has an algorithm that's kicking out every third vote. So that's where we are with that. I'm going to end this by saying that the only person, in my opinion, who got this 100% right was Cash Peters, because he doesn't predict outcomes. He does not predict outcomes, but he got it 100% right. Every one of his drawings. Now, if you don't know him, my God, please go check out his channel. He sees visuals. He sees what happens and then he draws them. And in all of these races, he said, here's this, Democrat going along, and here's the Republican going along, and then the Democrat goes, down here, and then the Republican disappears. And then the Republican ends up here on this podium. And the Democrat's like, what just happened? Cash has been doing that for months and months. He's been seeing these outcomes. So, he won't say it, but I will. I think it's cheating. It's manipulation of the vote. But anyway, despite their worst Herculean efforts to stop us, we got within percentage points, within sometimes 100, 500, 1,000 votes of beating them, of beating their butts so bad that we could have annihilated them ourselves. We wouldn't even need Trump's help. And we're going to fix this. We're going to fix the courts. We're going to fix the gerrymandering, because we have to, because we can't go on like this. This isn't democracy. These people that voted that their vote didn't count are going to be in the streets if we don't fix this. You're going to see protest and civil disobedience like you've never seen before if we don't fix this. The voice of the American people cannot continue to be trampled on, diminished, or stolen. They can try and take away our media. They are taking away our media. They took away CNN. And honestly, I got addicted to Twitter during the 2020 election because it's amazing. You can see what's happening from somebody who's literally in the middle of a protest in Portland, Oregon. You can talk to a journalist who writes for the New York Times. You can talk to a political science professor. You can talk to an environmentalist who's in Antarctica. You can talk to these people one-on-one. You can go to the source. So I follow legal people, scientists. I follow people that really know what they're talking about. And right now, with Elon Musk takeover of Twitter, he is tanking Twitter, literally tanking it. Everybody's leaving. Biden has mentioned that he may investigate the sale of Twitter. The Saudis, and I don't even care anymore, I guess, because I'm saying all the words that I'm not supposed to say, funded the buyout of Twitter, and it is in all of their best interest to tank it. Do you understand? It doesn't matter if it's 40 billion with a B dollars. It's worth $40 billion to keep people in Iran from connecting to Twitter, from Russians, from Ukraine, from Saudi Arabia with the Arab Spring, Americans that are upset with the election. This is how young people have been communicating. They're going to silence, I take that back. They're going to try to silence Twitter because it silences a huge swath of people that are using that to communicate. And right now, there's a lot of liberals on Twitter. We're all talking, literally, you're talking to people who work in Arizona about the Arizona vote. You're going right to the source. And that's not good. That's not good for these people. They need to control the narrative. They need to control the communication. So if Twitter goes down, That's going to be bad. That's going to be bad. And you can understand how important it is for them to make it go down if they're willing to sink $40 billion into a hole in the ground. Now, you guys might come back and say, no, no, no. Elon is just trying to make it profitable. He's trying to sell subscriptions. Well, you're not on there, more than likely. Right now, you can buy a blue check for $8, and that makes you a credible account, and you can take over someone else's account. So, for instance, Eli Lilly had their account taken over by somebody, and that somebody said, all insulin is now free. Contact your local provider. All insulin is now free. Well, Eli Lilly had to come on and say, that wasn't us. That wasn't us. It's mayhem on Twitter right now. I mean, it's interesting, but it's mayhem. And of course, hate speech, including the use of the N-word, has exploded by 500%. This is Elon Musk's ideal. This is what he wants. And we're allowing this guy to work with NASA to send rocket ships into space. I want you guys to see how effed up this is. Some adult has got to come into the room and freaking get this place under control. And I mean the United States, not just, and maybe the world. They just showed me Brexit. Maybe the world, right? We've got some hard work to do. We've got some sobering work to do. And we'll do it. Democracy's not dead. The United States isn't going to turn into Russia. None of that is true. That's not the timeline I see. I see it that we have some hard work to do. We've got to get a handle on the Trumps and the Musk and the Cheneys and the whoever. We've got to get a handle on this. And we have to let everybody know what we want by standing up for it, by doing the hard work. But in the meantime, your love and light helps. Your love and light really is impacting the timeline. We are changing the timeline. So continue to send the love and light out. Hold the light, hold the line. I did a video. You can look on my channel. Hold the light, hold the line. It's a short meditation. Continue doing that. Find a meditation that works for you. You can say those words when you're driving to work. You can also say the most benevolent outcome for all, right? The most benevolent outcome for all is we each have an oar and we're both rowing. The most benevolent outcome for everybody, not just for us. That's what the Republicans want, is just the most benevolent outcome for me. We want the best outcome for all of us. So with that, I'm going to leave you with this video. I hope you're doing okay. I want you to take really good care of yourself. We're going to get through this. It's going to be bumpy and uncomfortable, like riding on a really bumpy dirt road that is jarring, right? Is jarring. But it doesn't mean that we're losing or that we're losing our democracy or we're going to lose our Social Security. None of that is true. It just means that it's hard work that we need to put in right now so that we can secure a better future for all of us. Take really good care. We'll talk soon right here on this channel. For entertainment purposes only.